Hi, Rich Lucas, Breaking Boundaries Personal Training. Welcome to the webinar that we run this week on designing your own training program. Unfortunately, we had a bit of trouble with the screen recording, so I'm going to re-record it for you guys and send it out to you, and hopefully you'll get something from it. So what I put this together for is to show you how to design your own training plan, your own fitness training plan, in order for you to maximize the results that you get from it. So you don't get into a situation in 2013 where you're going to the gym day in, day out and not really getting any results. So I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible. As I say, if you do have any questions, please do email them along and I'll do my best to help you out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the 5 steps that allow you to create a training program that you can get results from and continue to get results from long term. We're going to cover the 5 areas, which is nutrition, basic postural correction and flexibility, resistance training, cardiovascular training, and rest. And we're going to go through each 5 in turn. Okay, so the first port of call is nutrition. I have people sometimes come to me, come to boot camp, and they want to pay £50 for a month of boot camp. I actually send them away and get them to go on a nutrition plan because I think it's the most important thing. If you're not eating the right, like muscle and lose weight, but you also want to have the energy to get the most out of your training plan. So this is why we're talking nutrition first. Results are usually 60% nutrition, 65% nutrition, and the rest comes from training. Okay, don't underestimate how important nutrition is. So that's why we look at it from the first port of call. So the things that we need to take into consideration on nutrition, first of all, and everyone knows this, is calories. Okay, losing weight or burning fat and gaining weight, as when you want to gain muscle, is purely calories in, calories out. Okay, if you are not creating a calorie deficit in your diet through exercise and or nutrition, you won't lose the weight and burn fat. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to do. You need to work out your BMR, and the best way to do this is go to a free site. It's called myfitnesspal.com. It's free. Set up a profile on there and that'll work it all out for you. If you set the weight gain to say £2 a week, weight loss to £2 a week, you put that in, £2 a week, and it'll actually give you a calorie intake that you need to stick to if you want to lose that £10 a week. That's what we commonly known as your BMR minus 500 calories a day. A pound of fat weighs 3,500 calories. So in order to burn a pound of fat per week, we're not talking weight now, we're talking fat, pound of fat a week, you need to create a calorie deficit of 500 calories a day. Okay, 500 calories times 7 equals 3,500, so you'll lose a pound of fat a week, and you will then, maybe anything you lose over that will maybe be water retention. If you go too far, it can become lean tissue. Alright, but MyFitnessPal works all that out for you. Okay, so after calories, the next thing we need to look at is macronutrient breakdown. Now, your macronutrients, it's not as complicated as it sounds. All we're thinking about here is things like your protein, your carbohydrate, and your fats. Okay, I would estimate lots of people are very deficient in protein in their diet. I've said this before. For breakfast, generally people eat cereal and toast. For lunch, they eat a sandwich. And the only time they really get any good quality protein is in their evening meal. This is why I do my own protein shake, Fatless Renegade Format, because I was finding lots of people really deficient in protein. So when you are developing your own nutrition plan, you need to make sure that you're eating protein with every single meal. A really easy way to do this is have eggs in the morning, have a chicken salad for lunch, and then have some fish and vegetables in the evening. So you're getting protein with every single one of those meals. The government guidelines, I think, is about 55 grams of protein a day. If you're looking to tone muscle, you're going to be wanting to up that a little bit. Maybe, if you're looking to build muscle, you're looking at a gram of protein or 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So you really need to get that protein in. The next one that you need to consider is carbohydrates. Now, carbohydrate got a real bad press with the Atkins diet and all that. They're saying carbs are the enemy. To lose weight, you need to cut your carbs down. If you don't eat carbs, you're not going to have the energy to get off the sofa. So you need to eat carbohydrates. It's just about eating the right kind of carbohydrates. Okay. Now, if you look on the Snickers bar or a Mars bar, you'll see there's loads of carbohydrates in it. Obviously, that's not the right sort of carbohydrate you want to be eating. You can get really good carbohydrates from fruit, from vegetables, from rice. Avoid things like pasta, avoid anything that's been processed, because if it's been processed, chances are your body's going to view it as a toxin, and it's going to stop all fat burning until it gets rid of that toxin. Okay, So proteins and carbohydrates. The last one we look at is fats. Okay, now not all fats are bad. Again, carbohydrates and fats get bad press. They're not the bad thing. The real bad thing is sugar. Sugar is the worst thing you can eat. We're looking at fats. Okay, so saturated fat is a bad fat. So this is animal fats. Things like butter, things like the fat that you get on meat. Saturated fat is not a good fat to eat. The other one is trans fats. Now, trans fats is a man-made fat, and that's you find that in margarine and things like that. You are better off eating butter rather than margarine. Just as a point. What you do want to go for is things like polyunsaturated fats, monosaturated fats. To simplify this, the way I like to put it is animal fats are bad, vegetable fats are good. Okay, so things like coconut oil, flaxseed oil, olive oil, great stuff to put. You don't want to have too much on it, just maybe a drizzle of food. You can also supplement fish oils and things like that. That's another good way to get your fats in. Okay, so we've looked at calories, we've looked at your macronutrient breakdown, eating protein with every meal. The next one is nutrient cycling, and if you've done the Fat Loss Renegade project, you'll know that we're well into carbohydrate cycling. That means you deplete carbohydrates in your body over a couple of days, and then on the third or fourth day you up your carbohydrate intake. What that does is it makes leptin levels soar, and it increases your fat burning potential. Okay, the best way to do if you want to experiment with this, and if you're trying to lose fat, is try one day, have your carbohydrates, get 40% of your calories from carbohydrates, and the next day only have carbohydrates in the morning and pack it in for the rest of the day. That's a good way to get started with carb cycling. The last thing that we need to look at is detoxification. This is all about getting your body as alkaline as possible. So it is about eating more vegetables, more alkaline, balanced foods on the pH scale. Acidic foods, you probably, I had a terrible over Christmas. I did indulge a little bit, and you find you get the acid reflux all the time. That's when your body's really acidic, and it's not very good for you. If you eat more vegetables, fruits and vegetables, drink plenty of water, particularly foods like celery, what you find is your body becomes more of an alkaline state. And the major proponents of this diet, they say that cancer cells can't live in an alkaline body. I don't know how true that is, but there are definite benefits to going more alkaline in your diet. Excuse me. Okay. Right, moving on. Let's look at basic postural correction and flexibility. So, to get this sorted, you need to think about what your average day involves. Now, if you have tight hips, if you work at a desk, vast amount of people I work with have got tight hips and lazy glutes because they work in desk jobs. So if you work at a desk job, you may want to take up some core and glute activation exercises. Now, if you go to breakingboundariespt.ning.com, our members area, you can join that, it's free. You will be able to find a couple of videos that will show you how to activate your core and your glutes prior to exercise. And there's also exercises in there that mobilize your hips. Okay? If you work a desk job, these exercises are invaluable because you really need to open up those hips and you need to activate your core and your glutes. Otherwise, your performance is going to be hampered. All right. So you can head over there, breakingboundariespt.ning.com. Join up if you haven't already. It's free, and you'll be able to find those videos in there. If you're standing up all day, what you find is you get a weak core, or you could have a weak core or an overworked core. So you'll need to, again, core activation, really, really important. And a good way to find these out is, can you squat correctly? If you squat and your chest faces the floor and your back's parallel with the floor, you're not squatting correctly. If you look at a toddler squatting, as they pick some in it, because they haven't got any balance, they've got perfect squats. So this is your heels, the weight distributed on your heels, your knees track over your toes, your chest should face forward, not to the floor, and your hamstring should be parallel with the floor. If you can't do that, you need to get involved in some of these glute and core activation exercises and hip mobility exercises. When you do these stretches, you need to be holding them for 30 to 60 seconds. Closer to the 60-second mark, this then becomes a developmental stretch. Okay, developmental stretch means you'll get more flexibility in your muscles. Okay, so Get that sorted. Don't skip this part. You need to get the postural correction flexibility, because if you don't, first of all, your performance is going to be hampered. But also, you lock a bad movement pattern in. You don't do exercises correctly. Best case scenario, you don't get any good results. Worst case scenario, it makes it harder and harder, and you get more and more joint and hip problems as you get older. Okay, so please don't skip that. Go over to the members area and have a look at the videos. Okay, alright, moving on. Okay, let's think a little bit about resistance training. Okay, now lots of you, when I first met you, you tend to go to the gym and you go on the cross trainer for 45 minutes. You might come off and do some ab crunches. Hopefully by this point you know that that's not good enough. If you're looking to burn fat, you need to get some resistance training in. So whatever you're doing for your training, you need to think about what your goal is. Okay, lots of people say, I want to tone muscle, I want to lose weight, I want to lose fat. It's not good enough. You need to have a specific goal in mind. So what is your goal? Are you looking to tone muscle? Are you looking to build muscle? Are you looking to lose weight? Are you looking to lose fat? What's it going to do? Because once you get this worked out, putting your training program together is really, really easy. I mean, let's take someone. They want to burn fat. They want to. They're a good weight, but they got wobbly bits on their stomach. They got wobbly bits on their upper arm, and they got wobbly bits on their hamstring and their bum. So what we're going to need to do is work out what we're going to. First of all, what equipment we're going to use to burn it off. So are we going to use dumbbells? Are we going to use barbells, kettlebells, body weight? In the example I've given, I'd probably use all four. But this is the important bit. We need to think about how many reps, what the rest period is going to be, number of exercises, and the amount of sets. Now, if someone is looking to burn fat, the best way to do it would possibly be a metabolic resistance training or density training, where we do 2 to 4, even 5 exercises back to back continuously. So, for example, we could do a set of 10 kettlebell swings, a set of 10 burpees, a set of 10 clean and press, and a set of 10 mountain climbers, for example. Okay, so and then after that we're going to go straight into the next set, or maybe we'll give them 30 seconds rest. If you're looking, if you think about it, if you're trying to get bigger, what do? You sit still and you eat lots. If you're looking to increase muscle and get bigger, what you probably do is lift a weight maybe 6 to 8 times and then rest for maybe 60 to 90 seconds, then do it again 60 times. That's going to increase what we call muscular hypertrophy, which means that you'll get bigger and stronger, providing your reps are low. If you were looking to tone muscle, you want to be lifting maybe 8 to 12 reps. Okay, 8 to 12 reps, and your rest time wants to be short, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to tone your muscles up, burn the fat away, so your muscles are more apparent. Okay, so if you guys out there, I know a lot of you are looking to burn fat. Okay, get your reps fairly high, between 8 and 12. Don't go over 15. As soon as you go over 15, it becomes counterproductive. Okay, between 8 and 12, and you want to get 4 to 5 exercises, all compound exercises. Okay, we'll go into compound exercise in a second. All compound exercises, do them back to back, rest as little as possible, and try to get the circuit done 3 to 5 times. Okay, 3 to start with, and then build up as you move forward. It needs to be a weight that you exhaust when you get to your 8 or your 12 reps. Okay, so it needs to be a weight heavy enough that you can't lift any more than 12. Okay, the ranges that we're going to talk about, if you do a weight about 12 to 15 times, you are increasing muscular endurance. Really good if you're a runner, long distance runner, a swimmer maybe, or if you're training for an event. If you lift the weight between 6 and 12 repetitions, you are going more for hypertrophy, muscle building. The lower end of the range, more muscle building. The higher end, more muscle toning. If you are of the bigger type, what we call an endomorph, so if you're sort of short, stocky and you gain fat easily, you want to be doing more 12 reps. If you are the slimmer type, long, and you can look at someone, we all know someone like that. We all hate them because they can eat what they want and they don't gain any weight. If you're at the slimmer end of the scale, you want to be maybe getting down to 6 reps. Okay, going as heavy as you can for 6 reps. Okay, because your body is more likely to respond at that range. If you're in the middle, if you're a mesomorph and you gain fat but you gain muscle easily and you've got an athletic build, you want to be going for maybe 8 to 10 repetitions. I mean, that's just a rule of thumb, and that's the kind of rule of thumb I use with my clients. Lastly, we've got compound or isolation movements. The first thing we need to do is get your compounds done. So your compound exercise is a multi-joint exercise. This is where you're going to use the most muscles, and it'll give you the most bang for your buck when it comes to burning fat and toning muscle. So your compound exercises, stuff like your clean and press, your deadlift, your squat, your bench press, pull up, burpee, even anything where you use more than one muscle. You know the exercises you mean. You do 10 of them and you're gasping for breath. You know the ones, the hardest ones. They're the first ones you do, and if you've got time, you do the isolation. Isolation is single joint exercises, things like bicep curls, tricep kickbacks, leg extensions. You only use that one muscle group, okay? Go compound first. Compound is going to give you the best results, okay? So that's resistance training covered off. Let's pop on. I love that picture. Okay, this one's going to be cardiovascular training. So we've got a couple of options. Most people do steady state. They kind of get on the treadmill and they run for 60 minutes, sorry, and they get off. It's very, very inefficient as a fat burner. Reason being is you only burn the fat for the time that you're on the treadmill. It aggravates the joints, and it also increases cortisol levels, which means that you're more likely to hold fat around your midsection. Steady state is fine, but it's not the best way. Some of the better ways to do it is HIIT, which is high intensity interval training. This is where you get on a treadmill and you sprint as hard as you can for 30 seconds, and then you slow it down for 30 seconds. Sprint, slow, sprint, slow, sprint, slow. You can do 3 minutes sprinting, 1 minute resting. You can do it any way you want, as long as you're going flat out as hard as you can for between sort of 60, 90, maybe even 120 seconds, and then slowing it back down. My favourite one is walk, jog, run, sprint, where you do level 7, level 11, level 14 and level 20, and then go back down to level 7, and you repeat that 5 times around. HIIT, you can only really do 20 minutes of it because it's really, really tough going. But what that means is you harness the power and the leverage of EPOC, which is excess post-oxygen consumption. That means that you burn fat for hours and hours after your workout. Really, really efficient as a fat burner. So not only have you worked out really hard for that 20 minutes, but you keep burning fat afterwards. Brilliant. The other one, bodyweight cardio. We've had some great results with this on Fat Loss Renegade project. I mean, on the project, the guys are doing once they've done the first week out of the way, they're training twice a day. Short workouts though, 25 to 30 minute workouts, and it's bodyweight cardio. They're basically, we've got an exercise called the ton up, where it's 10 press ups, 10 sit ups, 10 burpees, and it's just 10 sets of 10, and they need to do that as many times as they can. And it works. It works from a point of view, it tones muscle, but it burns a lot of fat as well. It's great stuff. So I mean, give it a try. If you do 10 burpees, 10 press ups, 10 sit ups, 10 squats, and then just repeat it as many times as you can. And not only will your muscles ache, but you'll be out of breath too, and your heart rate will be through the roof. Excuse me. Okay, the next one, I stopped teaching classes at the start of this year. Reason I stopped teaching them is I think they're completely ineffective as cardio. And yeah, that'll ruffle a few feathers because I know a lot of you enjoy classes. But if you're enjoying a class, chances are you're not pushing yourself hard enough in it. The thing with classes is you turn up to a class, you do the workout, you go home. It's not addressing the two things that you need to progress in fitness and fat loss, and that is progression and overload. You need those two things in there, otherwise you're not going to go any further. You're just going to stay on the same spot. So classes, while they're fun and while they're great stuff, if you're serious about getting good fat loss results, you need to be conducting your own private cardio routine. Last one I put on there is sports. I mean, sports is definitely a good fat burner to a point, but I know plenty of people who play sports and they still carry quite a bit of body fat. I mean, for example, for girls maybe netball, for lads, loads of lads play football and they still carry a lot of body fat. So what I would say is, don't do your sports to be fit to do your sports. It all comes back to keeping on this good, a good private cardio routine on your own. You know, throw in a bit of steady state, but your main thing should be HIIT, working up to 20 minutes, really intense cardio 3 times a week. Okay, I mean, going back to resistance training, you should be doing resistance 3 times a week, and you should be doing your cardiovascular training 3 times a week. Not long, you can get brilliant results in 4 hours training a week, 45 minutes resistance and 20 minutes cardio. Okay, so covering off those things, rest is just as important as training and nutrition. If you're doing the training and you're eating right, but you're not resting, you're going to secrete more cortisol and you're going to hold more fat around the midsection. If you are eating right and rested, but you're not training, you look great with your clothes on, but you won't look too great with your clothes off. So you need to get your training, nutrition, and rest as a triangle. Okay, a couple of things we're going to talk about. Excuse me. The first one is periodization. Now, periodization is a boring, geeky personal training thing, but I'm gonna let you share in the misery of it. Periodization is where you, and this is really important when you're setting up your training program, because a lot of people, they go in and they go, all right, I'm gonna get hench, I'm gonna get on the weights, I'm gonna burn lots of fat, and they push themselves too hard in the first week, and they don't want to go back again because the training is too hard. So this is how you should set yourself up. The first 2 to 3 weeks of your training program should be what's called basic conditioning. This is where you work out your postural correction. This is where you work out your core strength. This is where you work out your muscular endurance and your strength. And it's basically an easing yourself into it phase. Maybe if you're a total beginner, you won't be running. You'll be walking to start with. But it's basic conditioning. It's getting your body used to a pattern of movement. The next 2 to 3 weeks after that, muscle endurance, and this is where the muscle endurance side things. So maybe you're going to be doing steady state cardiovascular activity. Maybe you'll be doing a couple of sets, 3 sets of 15 on weights. Yeah. So you'll be doing a higher rep range, but at a lighter weight. Then after those couple of weeks, that 2 to 3 weeks, the next 2 to 3 weeks after that, that's when you go into your goal. So you've already been preparing for 4 to 6 weeks, and then you go into your main program. So let's say you're looking to burn fat and muscle and rip up a little bit. You might be doing supersets. You might be going chest press for 8 reps, flip it straight round into a tricep, a back row for 6 to 8 reps, and then shoulder press into pull-ups or what have you. So by the time you've got to that mesocycle, as we call it, that mesocycle, you're in a good condition, a good level of fitness, and a good level of muscular endurance in order for you to build on that. So it's called a mesocycle. The first mesocycle, 2 to 3 weeks, is basic conditioning. The second mesocycle, 2 to 3 weeks, is muscular endurance. The third mesocycle, 2 to 3 weeks again, is muscular hypertrophy, where you're looking to develop muscle, and then you can do another one after that, 2 to 3 weeks again of strength, and then all you do is you repeat the cycle again, developing endurance, hypertrophy, and strength. Endurance, hypertrophy, and you keep going until you've got a good level of each one. It's also a good idea to take a good about a week off every maybe 12 weeks of a cycle. Take a week off, as long as you don't miss any workout days. Take a week off, let your body recover, move back into it later on. The reason that periodization is such a good thing is first of all, it keeps your body guessing, it keeps you progressing, and it keeps overloading your body. And also, it stops you getting bored. You don't get the repetition of a usual routine. So you've considered that. You talk about the periodization. We now need to look at the time between muscle groups. Okay, so let's say you work your chest on a Monday. You wouldn't want to work your chest again until Friday. Okay, you want to give a good 3 clear days between each big muscle group before you work them again. Okay, it's pretty fail-safe, this one. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be working lower body, day off, upper body, day off, lower body, day off. So you're constantly alternating upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body, upper body, lower body, all the way along. So that way, your lower body gets a good time to recover while you work your upper body, and then the upper body gets a good time to recover when you do the lower body. The reason you do this is when you lift weights, when you do resistance training, your body breaks down the muscle fibers. You get micro tears in the muscle fibers. The muscle fibers then grow back, stronger, more defined, and that's how muscular hypertrophy occurs. If you keep smashing them to bits, they won't have a chance to grow. It's exactly the same as an earthquake. An earthquake hits a village, The guys come in and fix up the houses. If another earthquake hits the next day, the muscle just keeps the houses just keep getting break down. That's exactly the same thing with your muscles. You need to give your body time to recover and rest in order for them to build back up and tone back up. The next one is time between cardio sessions. Again, keep it simple. Do your cardio every other day. Every other day, do your cardiovascular exercise. Then your body has time to recover. So what we're doing is we're working one part of the body, we're allowing it to recover and working a different part of the body, and then we're working the same again. So what you could do is Monday, upper body, Tuesday, cardio, Wednesday, lower body, Thursday, cardio, Friday, upper body again, Saturday, cardio, Sunday, rest day. Okay, and work it like that. 45 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes cardio, 45 minutes resistance training, job done. Okay, this presents sore muscles. If you've got sore muscles, you won't want to keep training on them. If you overtrain, you're going to be more injury prone. You're going to have less energy. It's totally counterproductive in why we do this. Chances are you could have higher cortisol secretion as well. That means that your body's secreting the hormone cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And the other thing, and it's a real thing, is exercise addiction. I mean, I've had an experience in the past where I've had to stop someone training, even though they had a badly sprained ankle. They wanted to go for a run, and it's not a good thing. Exercise addiction is a real thing. So just it's something to watch out. That's why rest is really, really important. Okay. Right, okay, so hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight on how to put together your plan. Really speaking, you want to be taking into account your nutrition first of all, your postural correction and awareness, and there's videos on the members area for that. And then you want to get resistance training 3 times a week, you want to get cardiovascular training 3 times a week, and work it in. Now hopefully that you've got an idea. If not, we can offer you a webinar offer, which is a one-off training session at our private personal training studio down in Bristol. Postural correction and personalised resistance and cardiovascular plan, and we'll give you some nutritional guidelines. The usual price is £65, but for you guys, if you want to come in and do it with us, it's £35 in person, or if you just want to do it online and answer some questions and we'll send you a personalised plan, it's £25. Okay, now you can get more information on that at mail@breakingboundariespt.co.uk. Also, I mean, bear in mind we've got the online program running. We're getting some amazing results on that. Fat Loss Renegade Project. If you want to take more of a look at that, if you go to personalfitnesstrainerbristol.com/Fat Loss Renegade Project, and you can have a good read up on what the guys are getting up to. Other than that, I hope this has been good for you. If you've got any questions, please email me on mail@breakingboundariespt.co.uk. And thank you very much, and we'll catch you soon.